lights on. Get out of my room. Get out. Get out.
Hi, my name is Mark, and this is Get Help Dad, and we got 7 tips to help you survive this pandemic and help to make online schooling a little bit better. I'm the father of 3 boys. We got Mark, Eddie, Brad, and my beautiful wife, Christine. So I'm just a normal dad. I got the 3 boys, 13 years of experience with kids. I'm an engineer, a former Army officer, and I actually wrote a book last summer called Unafraid, and it gives you tips and tricks similar to this video on how to take care of kids while your wife's on the business trip. Okay, tip number 1, location. Location's very important. You want to make sure they have a quiet, clean place.
Am I in the wrong spot? Am I in the wrong spot?
Am I in the wrong spot?
They're not going to be interrupted by siblings, by you, by any other parents. You want to make sure that they can focus on what they're doing. They don't have too many other distractions. A place like their bedroom is a really good place. Sometimes the kitchen, sometimes the living room. In some houses, you're just going to have to find the best space possible.
Well, I like the view. I like how, I should say, white it is. And I like that there's a bathroom 2 feet from me.
I think it's important because it's quiet.
Second tip, equipment. Equipment's very important. You may need a computer or a tablet depending on how old the student is. Older kids definitely need a computer. Younger kids could get away with tablet. Don't use phones. They're not big enough and they're too distracting. If you can, get a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse. Those 3 things will help out a lot. What you need to take away is any other iPads they're not using, any phones can be very distracting, and no Xbox, no games. You want to focus on school and get school done.
I would tell them to have a computer and a mouse.
My important part of my setup is obviously a computer, since if you don't have a computer, then you don't have anything to communicate with on Zoom. So, is that bad?
Almost every single school is going to be able to give you a Chromebook or something similar to get you by. And sometimes you can get overloaded. Make sure they have the right equipment in there. Tip number 3, scheduling. Scheduling can be crazy. Scheduling is insane. There is more Zoom meetings than there are hours in the day. I know myself, my wife, and the kids could have up to 12 different meetings during the day. Balancing that, you're going to need a whiteboard or somewhere you can write it down and plan it out.
My schedule is at 9:30. I mean, no, 9:30 I have my first Zoom meeting, and then I go and until 11:30 or 11:15, and then I have to do this. Well, tomorrow I have to do this one test, and then
Tip number 4, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is really important. If you don't have Wi-Fi, they can't get the classes, they can't do their schooling. It's a pain in the butt. There are so many devices throughout your house that pulls and draws on your Wi-Fi and actually can slow your Wi-Fi. Well, we have Google, and Google Wi-Fi is really cool because you can control different devices separately, so you can pause devices, you can make sure they're not drawing it down. And we have up to 5 different laptops that are operating with different meetings, and it can really slow it down if you have an Xbox trying to download a big game. So make sure that you control them all, turn off anything you don't need, which will help the kids be less distracted. Okay, tip number 5, snacks, breaks, and after-school schedules. So the kids are gonna be working hard all day. They're gonna be doing classes, they're gonna be focusing. They get hungry. Try to prepare as many snacks as you can. Have lunch ready and planned and made so they can just grab it real quick and head back in. What I noticed is they're not giving them too much time in between classes for breaks and eating, especially the older kids, less than 15 minutes to go eat and come back to class. Some teachers are being strict where they can't eat during class. Younger kids, not too bad. They're pretty nice about that, but they still get hungry and they still want something to eat. Having it ready, prepped, ready to go will help out a lot. Our lunch lady is really mean, and you're looking at them. Breaks. When they have a break, especially the younger ones, get them away from the screen. Kick them outside, have them run around, burn off energy. They'll be a lot more focused and probably do better with the classes and concentrating. After school, break from screen time. They've been on the screen for 6-7 hours. That's a lot. They need to get out, run, burn some energy, do anything, even if the weather's bad. Just take a break from it. Tip number 6, trust but verify. So we want to make sure that your kids are doing the right things, they're paying attention in class, they're doing their homeworks, they're knocking out all the different computer assignments. One of the things you really have to do is follow up. Kids aren't always a big fan of that. When you ask them about how school went during the day at dinner, they usually say it was fine. You need to check in a little bit on older kids and a lot on the younger kids. The little kids, my first grader is going to have trouble concentrating at all. So my wife and I have to not helicopter parent, but at least be in the room or be around the room and checking on him every couple minutes to make sure he's not messing around or distracted or just turn the class off totally. You have to make sure that the kids have their Zoom codes. The Zoom codes could be longer than a telephone number and a pain in the butt if you get them all mixed up. Sometimes you can just lock it in on the computer. Once you do it, you're good. It saves it, remembers it. But if you don't have it in the first place, it can be quite annoying and quite disturbing. Tip number 7, last tip, the big speech. So the big speech, I'm going to give it to you, and you should give it to your kids. The big speech is very similar to what I said to my soldiers when I was in Iraq, and it was Christmas time, and morale is getting down, and things are getting rough, and it's a time where you're going to struggle a little bit. What I told them, and what helped me out too, was this is temporary. This will go away. This is only going to be a short amount of time that you're going to have to be doing this. It's going to be a little messy, a little nasty, a little squishy, but it will go away. And these are the times where you really have to push yourself and push your kids, and it'll show everyone's true colors and make them a better person. All I know is just try your best, try to apply these tips, and you'll make it through. Your kids will be happy. And just because you're watching this, you're already great parents. Hope you like these tips. If you do, please like and subscribe at the logo right over there.